Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we are talking glyphs, how to apply them, and how to remove them. So, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start with this TLDR version, and then afterwards, we'll go into a little bit more depth with regards to glyphs. If you want to obtain a certain glyph, you either need to have inscription as a profession, or a friend that has it. Second option is, of course, the good old auction house. Once you've gained the glyph you want, simply click on the scroll in your bag, apply it to the spell in question, and voila! You'll see in the corner of the spell, there is a little coloured edging showing that a glyph has been activated. If you hover over it, you can see what that glyph is. Now, if you've done that previously, but this time you want to remove the effect, simply head to a vendor, purchase some Vanishing Powder, or again, ask a friend of inscription because they can make it, then right-click said powder. This will open up your spellbook, click on the spell you want to remove the glyph from, confirm that you want to remove the glyph, and you are done. That, in essence, is the short version. If that's all you needed, thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.
It's over. Go home.
For those sticking around, let's jump a little bit deeper. Now, glyphs are created via the inscription profession. In the current iteration of WoW, they are generally for cosmetic purposes. One of the most common, you'd maybe have seen, and may not even realise that it was a glyph, is the astral form from druids, or the green swirly stuff appearing underneath the soul well that warlocks can drop. Now, you may be wondering, does every spell have a glyph effect? The answer is simply no, it doesn't. If you want to find out which of your spells has a glyph effect, well, you can't. Not in-game easily anyway. Wowhead, WowDB, etc. are great third-party sites for identifying class glyphs. Personally, I use Glyph List. This gives you a list of glyphs that are available in your current class or spec. Even more helpful, if you select that I really want this glyph, then that becomes viewable on all your other characters, meaning that if you want to jump to your monk because that's your crafter for inscription, or you want to jump on your moneybags warlock to purchase it, you can still see which ones that you need, rather than going, damn it, which one was it? Right, opening a notepad, or, because I'm old, scribbling it on a bit of paper so that I remember.
Here with a commentary is a grumpy old man. Hello, grumpy old man. I'm not happy.
Now, it's worth noting, some spells have multiple options. You can only ever use one at a time. To replace one glyph with another, you will have to remove the previous glyph effect, but that we will get onto in a second. As I said previously, the two ways to gain glyphs is via inscription or the auction house. Some of the prices may vary wildly. None will quite break the bank, but if you're a new player, a couple of thousand or even a couple of hundred gold may seem an awful lot for simply a cosmetic appearance. So let's put the auction house aside for 1 second and actually take a look at glyphs themselves via inscription. Now, inscription was introduced in Wrath the Lich King patch 3.02. It allows players to create glyphs, scrolls, Dark Moon Fair cards, vellum, various offhands, all that good stuff. Now, much like enchanting, it does have its own gathering skill attached to it in the guise of milling. Now, the primary gathering profession used with inscription is herbalism. You're going to need those flowers. We're going to get them, we're going to put them in our mortar and pestle and mill them, crush the herbs into powders, and then we're going to create inks from those powders, and that enables us to make glyphs and all these other good things. Now, mostly glyphs are discoverable, i.e. you're going to get a very small selection to start with, and then as you craft and create, you unlock more as they go along. It's why prices can sometimes vary wildly. Now, recently in Shadowlands, we have many of the druid forms being either kill X amount of mobs and eventually this will drop, or you can get it via reputation. On a personal note here, while inscription has never been a massive moneymaker, not on the scale of like alchemy for instance, to me it is one of the most rewarding, but I like the quirky. I will say I'm one of the people that actually really loves engineering, even though it costs a fortune and doesn't have that many benefits to it. There's people screaming at me now going, glider? Gun boots? Do you remember when the cardboard assassin was like a must-have? Wormhole generator? Would you have a video on Grim? Okay, granted, it is really good. It just costs a lot of money. But one of the reasons why I like inscription, same as engineering, is the fact that it actively wants you to go back to previous expansions. It wants you to do more things. Now, it may be simply you have to go and collect older herbs to craft some of these older glyphs. Or maybe you're searching for a glyph from a previous expansion, either for gold making or for your own use. Now, if you start looking up some of these older glyphs and to see what you might fancy having yourself, you may come across some things called minor, major, and prime glyphs. These were removed from the game in patch 7.03. Minor glyphs used to change the appearances for the most part and had some other fun effects. I'm looking at you, Corpse Explosion. Pretty much minor glyphs is what we have now called glyphs. Major glyphs would directly change a spell's effect, maybe changing one aspect but boosting another. So for instance, if you had a spell that did a hit of damage and then did a dot, it may remove that hit of damage from the beginning, but the dot may be more empowered. And then, last of all, we had prime glyphs. These were the biggest game changers. Your hardest hitting, they would simply just jack up and increase the damage or the healing of a given spell. Now, with the removal of these, some of these effects are actually made into toys or new fun spells that you can go and learn. Many of these are found in the Legion or Order Hall. I remember the first time on my Druid I came across Flap, which was absolutely fantastic. It basically means you can slow fall as a Druid if you're in chicken form. And of course my beloved Corpse Explosion as well was turned into a toy, costing about 50 gold. They have nothing to do with inscription anymore, so you could freely just go up on whatever class that happens to want that particular item that applies to them, and just go and buy it. But let's talk removal. This really is as simple as described in the TLDR section. Purchase Vanishing Powder. This can be done from literally hundreds. There are hundreds and hundreds of vendors throughout WoW. Look for reagent vendors, alchemy vendors, inscription vendors. Also, if you have any of the vendor mounts, they also have access to Vanishing Powder. Do not, whatever, please, whatever you do, buy Vanishing Powder from the auction house. It is a complete and utter rip-off and way overpriced. Once you have your Vanishing Powder, we click on it, spellbook opens, and then we simply select the spell with the glyph that we want to remove, confirm that we're happy to do this, and it is removed. Be aware that should you want to use that glyph again, you go, actually, do you know what? I really don't. I thought I want it to look like a chicken again, but I don't. I want my astral back. You will need to go and purchase it again. Once the glyph is removed, it is destroyed. And that, I think, about wraps it up for glyphs. If you've got any questions or you feel that there's anything that I have missed, please feel free to leave a comment. But for now, thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Ladies, everyone.